I'm Hannah. I've lost 75 pounds in 20 months with GLP-1s, plus diet and exercise. On Ro, I've gone from struggling to run a mile to running farther every day. You can access FDA-approved GLP-1s online. Get the support you need to reach your weight loss goals. Go to ro.co/weight to see if you qualify. I'm a paid Ro partner. 20% average weight loss in 1 year in non-diabetics with obesity or overweight with a weight-related medical condition versus 3.1% in placebo arm. RX only. To stay informed about serious side effects, go to ro.co/safety.
So you know that every now and then I like to think about what are they doing with our sewage, what are they doing with our waste and that. Well, I've thought of a way to get rid of that worry in a way, and also a way to incentivise healthy eating. And what they could do is, because I'll be dead honest, when my dog shits in the garden, I use a dog shit bag to pick it up, because my missus doesn't like the idea of me just using a shovel and dumping it in the wheelie bin like I used to do back home at my mum and dad's. Because apparently the bin men down here in the south won't empty a bin if it just stinks rawly of dog shit, and they can see dog shit rolling around in it. But I think that's normal to do, but whatever, you know, it keeps her happy, it keeps us happy, it's a tiny little compromise, it's fine. But my point is, to incentivise healthy eating, right? So a part of healthy eating is a regular bowel movement. So, you know, you should probably be shitting maybe 3 times a day. I think that's like the healthy average. And sometimes I think to myself, oh, I haven't gone yet today. I don't know, is this normal? Should I be doing this? And it'd be nice if you could bring it up with people and be like, have you been? Have you gone? Does this happen to you? But that's just uncouth. Isn't it? You know, you can't be doing that. You can't be just over dinner being like, oh, by the way, Giles. I don't know anyone called Giles. By the way, Dave, do you know if I should be shitting 4 times a day? Like, do you go more than that or less than that? You know, and you play a little bit of a under and over with them. Maybe, you know, you're not on good terms with the person. You don't know them all that well. You know, maybe it's your father-in-law. You're like, Derek, do you shit twice a day? And he's like, what? I only go the once. You go twice a day, and you're thinking, yeah. You're going, yeah. When in fact you actually go 3 times a day, and you're worried about it. You know, you might go to the doctor. But to incentivise that healthy eating, that fibrous diet, that diet that pushes the movement along, pushes the poo down the tube, if you like, from like the greens and the wholemeal breads and whatever else is healthy to eat. And weirdly, if you eat lots of sugar-free sweets as well, that'll help you shit as well if you're struggling, but I don't think that's advised. I'm not a doctor. But I am thinking, if we all had to, instead of, we made it illegal, right? And I'm thinking I might put a petition together for a laugh, but I'd be worried in case it gets through and they say, yeah, okay, because that would be terrifying, and I think people would sign it just for a laugh, and then that could ruin the country. But I might be getting ahead of myself, or thinking much more of my idea than what it's actually worth. But I like the idea that every house, it becomes law and normal to shit in a bag, and you put it outside your front door on a set of scales issued by the government, so they can spend a bit of the money they've been putting away in their own pockets. They can spend it on some like Newton scales and some bags delivered to all the houses and that. We all get a little bit of money back off our water bill and that, because they've made it illegal now to flush poo down the toilet. And then we can have smaller pipes as well, which means copper goes further, and, you know, all of the pipes, we can use less plastic to make the pipes, because the pipes don't have to be thick enough to get poo down. It just has to be wee and the odd bit of sick, you know, and maybe a little bit of toilet roll, but, you know, we don't really need the toilet roll anymore. I mean, maybe ladies wipe themselves, men don't, you know, after a wee, you don't need to just shake. Maybe we encourage women to have a little sponge, a little bathroom sponge to dab themselves down with, a little Brilla pad, but not obviously, you know, you grip the sharper side of the Brilla pad and just dab yourself off. Dry, there we go, we're dry, run that under the tap, give it a squeeze out down the toilet, off we go. We don't even have to flush now, because we've just used the tap water to, you know, squeeze out the sponge. That's pushed some of the water through. But we all shit in bags, and we put it outside our front door on these scales, and if you're feeling a bit like, oh, I've not gone, you know, I'm worried, you can have a little look around, and you can see like, oh, Doris hasn't gone much today. Oh, Gene's on for quite a bit there. Tex as well, across next door at Tex's, he's fucking like bags and bags. You're like, oh fucking hell, Tex, you know, lay off the Guinness or whatever. And then you're thinking, oh, maybe it's not that bad. You know, there's a variety across the street, but we incentivise it, right? So the bin men come, This opens up a whole new industry, new jobs as well. So new employment opportunities for people. New jobs, they get paid positions. They come along and they record, like the gas man does, records out what the weight is of the poo, takes a little picture, and the winner of the street gets a little, here's a tenner off your council tax this year, because you've obviously been eating very healthy, and if they get a bit suspicious, you've also got, then they can take that to head office and they'll test the bags out, things like that, to make sure that you're not just scrumpling up tissue and wetting it and shoving that in there, thinking, this will do, or maybe just cutting a banana in half and shoving that in the bag. Do you know what I mean? We don't want people to be cheating. It's going to be a sort of we got to trust people to be ethical with it, to be to play the game, if you like, because everyone's going to want that £10 off the council tax each year. But I don't think it's big enough to really be like, I'm going to cheat my way through this, because everyone would be at it then. So they'd have to keep on a means of testing it, probably a clear bag. We'll put them in clear bags, transparent polythene bags, right? And then they just go straight into there, no tissue. Maybe we've got to put the tissue down the toilet still. It's getting a bit complicated, but we'd be squatting over the bag, so we probably wouldn't even need the toilet roll anymore. Anyway, we incentivise it so that people get a little bit of money deducted from the council tax, and then there's a league as well. So the best street overall as well, they get something, like a postcode lottery, but it's for fecal movements. And who's had the best, and the local news can be like, we're here on Gwyneth Street in Bristol, and this road here, they've been having the biggest poos of the year. How does it feel to be top shitter? And you speak to people on there, and they're like, couldn't have done it without my team, and all this, and it brings a bit of camaraderie back to our communities and that as well. People becoming friends over this. Other aspects as well. It stops the whole, like, what are we doing with toilets and the sewerage systems? You know what I mean? Like, why are we allowed to piss and shit into the water supply, and then that water eventually feeds its way back to our taps and kettles? I don't agree with it. I don't think it's right. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't believe that they're allowed to do that. Do you know what I mean? And they've got this other thing of, I'm always worried, aren't I, about, are they trying to harvest some form of gold or something, like an alchemical way of, we've been created like mud people out of fucking Lord of the Rings, and we're just made to shit and piss, to eat stuff and to refine the gold, the very, very small amounts of gold that reside in everything, the molecules that make up gold. Because our bodies are perfectly attuned for that. I know I go into this way too much, but our bodies are perfectly attuned to be able to extract gold without damaging any gold. We can eat gold and shit it out and not damage it. It's one of the few things within food that if it is there, it will pass straight through, which is mental. Other than like sweet corn, but even then it's just the husk, you know what I mean? And this isn't just the husk. This is the actual gold can pass through us, supposedly. It's like we're made for it. Do you know what I mean? So then we don't have to be worried about that. What are they doing with it? What are they using it for? Are they using it to collect our DNA? We don't have to think about that, because we've got now people coming round in fucking hazmat suits, maybe, or maybe just a nice suit with gloves, and they collect it from the doors, and they're like, what a prize, and it all gets taken off. Maybe it gets incinerated. But though, to be honest, what I've done there is probably just streamline the process, so people are just getting shit in bags and they can take it and do what they want with it. But then we can follow the money. Then we can follow the meat. We can follow and see what happens with it. Where does this go? Follow the trail. Follow the brown trailing mark. The snail trail of, deceit. Where does it go? Where does it lead? What are they doing with it? We'd be closer to an answer, wouldn't we? But, it's just, I thought this might help people eat healthier, because they'd be encouraged to eat healthier, or to eat spicier food or whatever. But it'd get people eating differently anyway. People would stop eating like as much bread and stuff that gets them bloated and constipated and that, wouldn't it? They'd be eating better things for them, more fruit and veg. But then, do you really want to eat the fruit and veg? Is that safe for you? Do you really want to trust anything a government says, eat 10 of these a day? You must eat 10 of these a day to stay healthy. Do you know what I mean? Healthy was exacerbated then by air quotes, which you can't see because this isn't a video. But do you know what I mean? It's complicated. It's hard. It might be a complicated thing to get people into. Difficult to get people to agree to it. But I think once we do, we'll have a healthier country, much healthier country, and more jobs. And that's what people are really fussed about, innit? Like, I think this year's a campaign year, mate. If you enjoyed this, right, if you thought to yourself, what the fuck was this? This is nothing like his other shows. And that's because this is one of the ones that I put, like, one of the ones that's like this that I put on Patreon. There's a few different shows on Patreon, Patreon, .com/world around you. There'll be a link below. There's a free trial on it for 7 days, or join up, and the £3 tiering up, you can hear another, this is the 251st one, so you can hear another 250 rants, rambles, whatever you want to call that, worries, concerns, ideas for the future, sketch ideas, all sorts, ideas I've had for TV shows, I think, at some points. Just stuff that's in my head, and I feel like I've got to get it out my head, so give it a try, mate. It's the link's in the description below. And I'll put a Fat Pete's Prints link as well. Fuck it, Fat Pete's Prints sponsored this show, so go and have a little look at Fat Pete's Prints if you fancy some weird shirts and that. Otherwise, fucking, I'll see you in a bit. Go and sign up to my Patreon, you tight bastards. Look at all these free shows you've got and you enjoy. You could even sign up for free for 7 days. Or you could just give it, you might as well do the 7-day free trial on there and then cancel on the 6th day. Just listen to the stuff on there, man. There's loads of stuff to hear. There's well over 500 things on there to watch and listen to that you probably can't see or hear anywhere else. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's enough to make you go over there. Otherwise, the shows will continue as normal. This is just a little because I've got to like the 250 mark, but the 250th one I thought was a bit ropey to be putting out publicly, so I went for this one instead.